every few years there are certain trends, certain things that, that get buzz at any given moment in time. I think there's a tendency to look at what's going on with real-time technologies, real-time streams of events, and say, is this a flash in the pan? Is this a technology that will come and go? By way of analogy, the peer-to-peer, the excitement around peer-to-peer, people would say, was that going to transform the industry? How's this going to impact consumers? How's this going to?
Well, you kind of launched Groove on that, on the back of that, even though that wasn't the point.
We did. We started it several years earlier, but certainly we took advantage of that when that was the, a spiking trend. I would say that I have a higher degree of confidence that real-time technologies are going to broadly impact systems. It may not be in the form of a Twitter or something like that, because that blends real-time and a communication tool, and it's the pioneer, and we're all kind of looking at it, trying to understand what's going to be sustainable and what's not. But I do believe real-time notifications, real-time infrastructure for delivering events as an adjunct mechanism to help improve the experiences within our communication tools, it's going to be very important. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to pan out within the context of each of these tools, but I think in the enterprise and for consumers it's going to be pretty important.
A lot of other early ideas tend to get focused down to what you already have. In fact, the earliest versions of Gmail we used internally, there wasn't a distinction between chats and messages, and then we kind of lost that. And I think that was because of a little too much listening to people's expectations a little too early on.
This real-time thing,
yes.
Obviously you have an interesting opportunity, put it that way, to handle the kind of issues that friend feed and to some extent Twitter have already sort of experimented with.
Well, and I think the interesting thing here is that it's even faster than that. Character by character is, it may seem kind of silly, like writing one character at a time. But in fact, I came from a similar world to Lars. When Unix Talk was widely used, it always went character by character, and I've kind of missed that all these years on the web. And I think it does give you actually a better, tighter communication loop than having to write out a whole line at a time. So I think it really sets a new benchmark in interactivity.
It used to be that batch was enough. We'd understand that we'd build it and we'd kind of set it up for a process that would run in what we call batch that night or that weekend or when those CPU cycles were available. We've far transcended that. No one is settling for a batch process. Nobody is settling for anything but real time. And that's the new world that we're in. So this puts tremendous constraints on the developers of these next generation systems. Even Google is too late. Most of the Google systems, when you search, it's not real-time information. It's not a real-time scan of the web at all. It's a delay. And the delay, well, you have no idea how long the delay is. It was more than acceptable a few years ago. In fact, it was extraordinary. But now when you do your search, you don't know, are you seeing something that is real-time or is it, real old?